when I heard the case of kidnapping, issue of kidnapping has become a very big problem in Nigeria. And of course, recently it came up in the in the National Assembly as a motion of national importance. And they talked about the army and the security operatives need for them to up the ante. And they also talk about summoning them. This is one way to check what is going on, but we need more, right?
Of course. For me, kidnapping and kidnappers should not be treated. First, what's the process of kidnapping? Kidnapping and armed robbery, they are the same thing. Kidnapping and robbery are the same thing because it's still the same format. It's the same weapons they use. So whatever should be done to an armed robber should also be done to a kidnapper to serve as a deterrent.
They are the same process. The same process.
They are the same process. So for me, this 20 years imprisonment is not even enough. What I say is not even enough is that the law of the land need to take its course when you carry out, when you have firearms with you. You know what the law states. So even saying that they should be given 20 years for me, I am not in support of it. Knowing very well that this is one evil that has bedeviled the society. And if we don't nip it in the bud, it will become a lifestyle, it will become a way of life, and it will become an occupation. So we need to do everything to discourage it. So that 20 years imprisonment is not even enough. Knowing very well that the prison sentence is a concurrent decision, where they count night and day as 2 days instead of 1 day.
Is that?
Yes, that's what they
okay. And they've already spent 10 years.
They have already spent
so they have 10 years. Well,
not even 10 years. They might even walk out any moment.
Exactly, because they pleaded for leniency. Judge. When they, I don't know why lawyers call it locutus. When you plead for leniency,
don't do that.
Lawyers may cut down. But people have always talked about the ultimate penalty for kidnapping. In most states, it is the punishment is death sentence or even life imprisonment. That's the minimum.
You know why?
In this case, well,
you know why I am advocating for capital punishment for kidnapping? The process, the mode of execution, and even the mental torture.
And many people die in the process. So they kill.
I have a family friend that died in the process in Obogoro here.
So many, we know them.
So
we never came back.
In that case, we shouldn't treat it with kid gloves. It's something that the society needs to take a firm stand.
It appears to have become endemic, to become part of our national life.
Of course.
It was not there because the way criminality creep in, sometimes they creep in through the so-called modernity trends.
And this whole thing started when they started kidnapping oil workers.
Oil workers.
Well, if I started from foreigners.
From
foreigners to oil
when
workers.
There were no workers, when there were no foreigners to kidnap.
Oil workers.
They came
from oil workers
to rich people.
To rich people. Now they even kidnap the poor. Even as bad as going to highways, stop a bus, select people they want to, and match them.
Random kidnapping. And then bandits have, the evolution of criminality in Nigeria is what surprises me. My father used to tell me that before the Civil War, there was only an armed robbery. That what used to happen in the cities, for example, criminals will hide by your door. When you come out to ease yourself, they push you out and enter your house and steal. And in Port Harcourt, they used to be called this Abalidiegu. As the night is terrible. And so that used to be the trend. And they were common thieves. Then after the war, we began to hear about, because of what happened during the war, the Biafran soldiers and some Nigerian soldiers that were temporary soldiers, after the war, were used to carrying arms. And after the war, they were not immediately rehabilitated. So they now plunged into criminality and robbery. They're using the guns they learned how to use to rob. We had the last one, Unity and all that. These were the first set of robbers and all that. And then the soldiers started by shooting them. And we thought that was going to execution. Yes. In Port Harcourt, there's a place they call Armed Robbers Stadium.
I played football in that stadium.
Armed Robbers Stadium.
Yes.
So we had that experience as children growing up. And we used to go watch them. We thought that was going to be a kind of deterrent to criminality. Over time, it never stopped. Now we have begin to have different phases and types. The Anini kind of, exemplified it to a large extent and all that. You see, and all that. So we thought that that will come down.
And most recently, Evans, the
Evans, the multi-millionaire. When we thought that was going to go down, then we now begin to have kidnappers. We're going to have militants. We're going to have the likes of Don Wani and all that, who refuse to accept amnesty and continue with their brigandage. Now, today, we have another level of evolution. Bandits, terrorists in the Northeast. Now, ethnic agitations, self-determination. All manner of criminality have crept into the country. And there doesn't seem to be an end. Rather, we may have a new form over time. And new forms evolve with the nature of the ecosystem they find themselves. So, I don't know. So when we talk about having an end, like the legislators said in their house, to criminality, to kidnapping, you are going to summon the army chiefs and all that. I don't know, maybe to mitigate. That should be a better word.
Well,
minimize.
Summoning the army chiefs is one thing. The second thing, the army chiefs will always tell you their areas where they are lacking.
Yes.
Then the government will they implement and give them what they need, the right tools. For me, the basic thing to fight crimes and criminality in Nigeria is intelligence gathering. Once you have a wonderful and great system of intelligence gathering, you'll be able to ascertain who are the people doing this thing, where are they operating from, how did they take it to them. But this time around, if there's no information or intelligence gathering, what will the security agencies work on? You see, all over the world, the intelligence system works very well. So in Nigeria, if we want to fight crimes and criminality, we should lay more emphasis on intelligence gathering. By the time we get enough equipment for intelligence gathering, surveillance, we know them, we know where they're operating from. You keep a tab on them and know when to strike without getting involved in civilian casualty. But this time around, we always sit back and they will be the ones to attack us. So a situation where you see the bushmeat now chasing the hunter instead of the hunter chasing the bushmeat.